So we'll be continuing with organic chemistry. So pehle wale up to nomenclature, structure, shape of organic compounds, all clear, or any questions you guys have? No? Take care. All right. So coming to isomerism.
Ignore Aryan.
Hello, Ansh, are you there? Are you with the class?
Hello.
Yes, Ansh.
Were you asking me something?
No, I think your mic was on. I think there's something there. So just checking if you were here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So continuing with isomerism. Isomerism basics to pata hai na? So what do you mean by isomerism?
Same molecular formula, different structural formula.
Basic.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Correct. So within that, again, like the basic is the same, molecular formula same, structural formula is different. But where is the difference? Like how does the difference come about? That's what so there are different types of isomerism. Okay. So pehla hai chain isomerism. So what do you think chain isomerism would mean? नाम से क्या हो सकता है?
Difference in chain structures or
Basic.
positions.
चेन का पोजीशन मतलब?
Oh wait, not chain position. Sorry. Like it's like, for example, a straight chain, and then you have a branch chain of the same molecular formula.
हाँ, तो चेन में क्या डिफरेंस आ रहा है दोनों में? So it would be basically
The number of chains.
नहीं, number of chains नहीं. एक chain में number of carbon atoms होते हैं ना? So it's basically differing in the chain length.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chain length.
Chain lengths are different. Or in other words, as it's given here, different carbon skeletons. Okay. Can you give me an example of chain isomerism? Like simple, basic examples that you can think of?
Butane and isobutane.
And
N-butane
Yeah.
and isobutane, yes. What do you mean by N-butane and how does it differ from isobutane?
So N-butane is your normal butane, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3.
Yes.
And isobutane is one of the carbon atoms on the second one of the methyl group on the second carbon atom.
Yes.
So it becomes CH3, yeah.
Yeah, this is the other rest of the valencies are basically satisfied by hydrogen. इधर भी यहाँ पे CH2 होगा, इधर CH2 होगा. Okay. So if you count the total number of carbons, total number of hydrogens, both are the same. But यहाँ पे chain length maximum is 3 and यहाँ पे chain length maximum is 4 carbon atoms. Okay. So they are differing in the chain length, the main parent chain ka length. That's why they're chain isomers. Isomers ke IUPAC name will be the same or different?
Different.
No.
It will be different.
I mean, I said no, different.
Yeah. So that's like one short way of checking if, you know, the given two compounds are isomers or not. If the final IUPAC names are different, it means that they are different. But if you land up on the same IUPAC name, it means that, yeah, they are the same compounds. Yeah. So this sort of confusion may come about in like really longer compounds. Next is positional isomerism. Now, what do you mean by positional isomerism?
Opposition isomerism is when like a methyl group, I think when a methyl group is shifted, like
difference in position of functional groups.
Functional group, yes.
Methyl
So,
group, okay.
methyl group is one of the substituents, could be the position of functional group itself. It could be an OH group, it could be an NH2. So simple words, positional isomerism मतलब change in position. Chain isomerism में change in the chain length. Positional isomerism, like basically differences in the position of the functional group. Then what do you mean by functional isomerism?
Functional isomerism is when two different functional groups have the same molecular formula.
Okay, and can you give any context example? कहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये?
So yes, I did revision in the morning. So alcohols and ethers.
Absolutely. So alcohols and ethers are different functional groups. I'll give you an example. So if I have CH3, CH2OH, and CH3O, CH3. What is the molecular formula for both of these?
C2H6O.
C2H6O मिल रहा है दोनों का. So basically molecular formula same है, but one is an alcohol and one is an ether. So there's a difference in the functional group itself. Yep. So these two would be functional group isomers or functional isomers. What all other functional groups would you find functional isomerism in?
Carboxylic acid and aldehyde.
Yes. Huh? Carboxylic
Ketone
acid.
and aldehyde also.
So that was a good thought कि दोनों में C double bond OH होगा, like ketone. You said carboxylic acid and aldehyde, right? So aldehyde में भी C double bond O है, acid में भी C double bond O है, but acids में there is like this extra oxygen that's there. So that's why they won't form functional isomers. So they won't have the same molecular formula to start with. But Myers, yes, you're right. So if you look at a ketone and an aldehyde, both of them have a single C double bond O. The only difference is that aldehyde is at the end of the chain and ketone is in the middle of the chain. So as long as, you know, dono mein you have the same number of carbon atoms, their molecular formula is going to be the same. Okay. One more example. See, the pattern is that alcohol ether may be the oxygen, alcohol may it's at the end of the chain, ether may it's in the middle of the chain. Aldehyde ketone may be the key difference, like C double bond O, end of the chain, middle of the chain. So वैसे, based on that pattern, can you think of one more? I shall give you one more hint. Carboxylic acid के साथ ही, which other functional group would form a functional isomer?
Ester.
Yeah, ester. Nice. Again, same this thing. If it's at the end, ending with hydrogen, then it's acid. But if instead of hydrogen, if it was in the middle of a chain with another carbon atom, that would form an ester. Can you think of one more? So we've got aldehyde ketones forming functional isomers. We've got alcohols, ethers. We've got acids and esters. One more. Let's see. Ansh, Ishita, any of you guys think of?
No, ma'am.
What about amines or amines, however you pronounce it? So amines, you can have primary amines or secondary amines, NHR dash. depending on how many hydrogens nitrogen is attached to. So as long as the total number of carbon atoms is constant, they all will have the same molecular formula. Like, let me just give an example. We'll take a simple example only again. We'll have CH3, CH2, NH2, and CH3, NH, CH3. So what is the molecular formula for both of these?
C2H7N.
C2H7N. दोनों का एक ही है ना? C2H7N ही आ रहा है ना दोनों का. So they also form functional isomers. ठीक है. Awesome. Next, what do you mean by metamerism? Now this is not intuitive. This is not like very as simple as chain positional or functional isomerism. Metamerism, kaha, like what do you mean by metamerism? Where do you find it?
You find it in ethers, right?
Ethers is one. What other?
So different.
Metamerism is basically when the functional group comes within the chain, and then it depends on the number of
Carbon atoms.
Carbon atoms. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Carbon atoms on one side and carbon atoms on the other side.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have a functional group coming in the middle of a chain, not at the end, obviously you're going to have carbon atoms on this side, carbon atoms on this side. So if you have the same total number of carbon atoms, but the difference is in the number of carbon atoms on either side of the functional group. So those kinds of compounds show metamerism. So ethers is one because basically ethers are R, O, R dash. So if you have same total number of, so if you have differing number of carbon atoms in R and R dash, that would form metamers. They are metamers. What other functions? Yeah.
About ketones and esters, because even they come in the middle, right?
Yes, correct. So ethers, ketones, esters.
What is it again? What is metamerism again?
So metamerism, okay, I'll just take an example and show it to you. It'll be simpler. Okay, so you'll find metamerism in functional groups which appear in the middle of the chain. Okay, so for example, I have diethyl ether. Have you guys heard of this compound? What is diethyl ether?
2 carbon atoms on either sides of O.
Yeah, so its structure is CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. So this is diethyl ether. It is an ether. So you've got this functional group O, and you've got the 2 ethyl groups on either side of it. इसलिए diethyl ether. Okay. Now, if I consider another compound, which is this CH3O, CH2, CH2, CH3. Now, if you compare both of these, what is the molecular formula for both?
The same.
Same. So it's C4H 3 plus 2, 5, 2s are 10, H10O. Either be C4H 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 7 plus 3, 10, and 1 oxygen atom, right? So same molecular formula, same functional group bhi hai, so they are not functional isomers. The only difference is in the number of carbon atoms on either side of the functional group. Either you have ethyl and ethyl, either you have methyl and propyl. So these two are classified as metamers. Or this sort of isomerism is called metamerism. Okay. So when it's the same functional group, but the difference is in the length of the carbon chains on either side of the functional group. So this special case is called metamerism. So ethers are one such compounds. You will also find metamerism in ketones. So again, same this thing. Ketones is C double bond O, but if you know, let's say, or let me put the question this way. So I'll give you guys a compound. Okay, so this is a ketone. To be specific, it's 3-hexanone. Can you find what is, now give me the IUPAC name for the metamer of this particular compound?
Ma'am, what you gave was the IUPAC name, right?
Yeah, 3-hexanone is the IUPAC name for this particular compound. So इसका metamer का IUPAC name बताओ. Like how many metamers can you make?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like everyone or like only one?
If you can make
Because
multiple, yes, all of them. Minimum
Ma'am, 3.
one तो बनेगा.
Ma'am, we can make 3
Can you?
metamers. Like I am not sure.
yes,
Other
ma'am.
than this.
Banana,
Maximum.
find out what is the IUPAC name, and then based on that, see again, main thing is once you have changed a structure, and if you're not sure if that's a valid isomer or not, just figure out its IUPAC name. अगर same IUPAC name उसका भी 3-hexanone बन रहा है, मतलब it's the same compound, it's not an isomer. Okay, अगर अलग IUPAC name बन रहा है, only then it can be counted as an isomer.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
see
you can
one.
make-
Ma'am, ma'am, it has no metamers.
It has one metamer.
2-hexanone.
So if I say 2-hexanone, is that the same or is it different? Because
Different,
my
no?
parents are the same. Yeah.
3
So
and
you can
2.
call 2-hexanone.
So basically that's CH3. Second position में ketone, and you have 6. So 1, 2, 3.
You can
4,
form only one metamer. Because if you shift it on the right hand side, you will get the same thing, 3 and 2.
You're gonna get 3-hexanone, yeah. And if you put it over here,
Same thing, 2-hexanone.
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 Yeah. Okay. So instinctually, suddenly you might think of possibilities कि कहीं भी रख सकते हैं, but your sure shot way, like foolproof way of figuring out if it's an isomer or not is there should be a difference in the IUPAC name. Otherwise, it's basically just rotating this by 180 degrees, right? Like same ही compound हो जाएगा. That's why. Okay. So similarly, esters के साथ भी you can make metamers. Again, whichever functional group you can put in the middle of a chain, you will get metamers out of it. Because the only thing is you have to change whatever is there on left side and right side. That's it. Okay, so clear about this? Sid, is your question answered?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, excellent. All right, coming back to this, and then you have something called tautomerism and ring chain isomerism. So first I'll take up ring chain isomerism. This is pretty simple. Okay. From the name, what do you think ring chain isomerism could be?
Different, like same functional groups in like different positions.
वो तो positional हो गया ना? So there is ring
Oh.
chain.
Benzene.
Benzene is an example of ring compound. So isomerism में like इसमें difference कहाँ पे आ रहा है?
Closed compounds. So even when you consider like cyclo compounds, I don't know.
Yeah, you're getting there. I'll give you guys an exercise to figure this out. All right. CH3, CH double bond, CH2. इस compound का नाम क्या है?
Propene. And if you put that double bond, propene, propionine.
Propene, right? Okay. And एक ही position है, whether you put it here or here, it's one propene, so that's fine. What is the molecular formula of this compound?
C3H6.
C3H6. ठीक है. What is the name of this compound?
Cyclopropene.
Cyclopropene, yes.
Cyclopropane.
Cyclopropane, yes, correct.
Propane, sorry.
क्योंकि double bond नहीं है ना, all of them are single bonds. What is the molecular formula of this compound? So if make it easier, C, and then दो bonds इधर आ गए, तो two hydrogens. So molecular formula will be
C3H6.
C3H6. Now, what do you observe about both of these compounds?
One is cyclic and the other is open.
Yes.
Double. Yeah.
Correct. So they have the same molecular formula and obviously different structures, इसलिए दोनों isomers है. But within the isomers also, one is a chain aliphatic compound and the other is a ring compound, right? Cyclic compound. So these kind of cases where like you can consider it a special case of chain isomerism, I guess. So where one structure is aliphatic, is an open chain, and the other structure is a cyclic structure, this kind of isomerism is called a ring chain isomerism. Okay, simple. Ring chain isomerism. Isomerism, obviously same molecular formula, different structural formula. Ring chain indicates that the structure may difference is because one is a straight chain and one is a ring structure. That's it. Okay. And finally, the last type of isomerism, that also I would argue it's like a special case of functional isomerism, I would say. It's called tautomerism. So tautomerism, mainly so there are some structures like due to stability or whatever, like they interconvert from one to the other. Like the best example is enol compounds. Okay. So whenever you have an enol compound, enol का मतलब उसी compound में double bond भी है. The En represents the double bond. And OL represents which functional group?
Alcohol.
Alcohol ka functional group. So compounds which have a double bond and the alcoholic functional group on the neighboring carbon atoms, like for example, if I have CH3, C double bond OH, let's say carbon H, 3 bonds here, so there's another H here. So whenever you have this sort of a compound, they can rearrange themselves into ketone wala compounds. Okay, so because of like stability factors and electron displacement factors that we are going to study later. The double bond is going to shift here, and this proton is going to shift towards this thing, and this basically rearranges itself to a ketone compound. So you get CH3, CH2, C double bond O, H. Okay, in this case, because it's at the end of the chain, aldehyde ban gaya. But yeah, so this kind of system where there is interconversion of molecules, so this particular case is called a keto-enol tautomerism. But yeah, in general, whenever you have a double bond like this, you can also see it in the case of amines, I guess. So that's like a different class of compounds. Very specific case only when this sort of a situation is there. It basically interconverts between enol and the ketone group. So that sort of a tautomerism, like that sort of a phenomenon is called tautomerism. This particular case that I described to you guys is called keto-enol tautomerism. Okay. So ring chain and this thing, it's not there in your textbook also. These are like extremely specific and special cases. The main 4 cases of isomerism that you would find is these 4: chain, position, functional, and metamerism. So tautomerism is a special case of functional isomerism, and ring chain, I would say, is a special case of chain isomerism. Okay, so these are not like very separate, they're just very specific cases of one of these kinds. Then, so these are basically change in the structures. Structural isomers are these. And then coming to stereoisomers. Okay, so stereoisomerism, basically they have the same structure when you write them on paper, but the difference is in the orientation or alignment. Okay, so again, that's like going a step deeper in the change in the structure, this thing. 2 types of, so this has subclasses. You have geometric isomerism and optical isomerism. So what do you mean by geometric isomerism? Or if you can't explain it, you can also like give an example to explain ki kya hai wo. Example se bhi bata sakte ho in your own words.
Cis and trans.
Yes. So you call it cis trans. I mean, cis trans isomers fall under geometrical isomers, but what do you mean by cis? What do you mean by trans?
They have like similar.
Acha, let's start off. Where do you mainly find this sort of isomerism, like coming to cis trans? In what kind of compounds would you find it?
Alkenes.
Alkenes, correct. So alkenes mein you've got double bonds, C double bond C. Trigonal planar hai, so this is what is the structure is going to be like. They are flat compounds. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, everything came back to me after I saw that. So this is where, so example, you have Cl and H. So when Cl and H are on the adjacent side of both the, I mean, same side on both the carbon atoms, it is cis, and
Yes.
it's trans when it's opposite. So Cl,
Correct.
H there, H here, and Cl here.
Huh. So when they're opposite side for both the carbon atoms, they're called trans.
This is a subtopic in geometrical.
Yeah. So no, this itself is geometrical isomerism. Subtopic in stereoisomerism. This itself is geometrical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism. Okay.
Ma'am, if they are okay, double bond for
Ma'am, is there
Alright.
anything beyond like cis and trans in geometric isomerism?
So there's another way of representing it. So apart
Oh, okay.
from cis-trans, you also have something called the EZ representation. So I'll just come to that in a bit. Okay. So this is like a very simplified form if I had to explain geometrical isomerism. So trigonal planar hai, you've got C double bond C, and you will find this only in the cases where you have different atoms connected to this sp2 carbon. Okay. Like if I have C double bond C, H, 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 and H, will I get geometrical isomers for this compound?
No,
Why not?
No, no, you won't.
because both the, what do you call it? Atoms combining to your carbon are the same. Or you can say they're both cis and trans, I don't know.
No, you can't say that about cis-trans. Geometrical
So
isomerism
that,
will not be there because, as you said,
yeah.
atoms are the same. So even if you flip it upside down, you won't get any sort of difference at all. Okay. Now, what about this case? Will this compound have geometrical isomers?
No.
No. Okay.
what if we have 3 Cl?
That's awesome. Okay, yeah. That's a good case. We'll go over that now. Will you have geometrical isomers in this case?
Yes. But no.
Yes.
But what would you say? It's, see, ma'am said that it cannot be cis and trans, like both. And in this case, it is both. So like, how?
See, the reason why cis is different from trans is if you turn this molecule ulta pulta, like if you rotate it by 180 degrees, either vertically or horizontally. Horizontally, though, I mean, structure में कोई difference नहीं है, so it shouldn't be the same. But by changing the orientation of this molecule, like by rotating it horizontally, vertically, or by flipping it, you're not going to get this back, are you?
Ma'am, can you repeat it?
So by changing this particular molecule, like by either rotating it, flipping it, by doing anything, are you going to get this structure in any way from this structure? No.
Oh,
Right?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
So
ma'am, if we
there.
rotate the cis structure 180 degrees, we will get that structure back.
Let's test it out. Okay. Cis structure, rotate it 180 degrees, ऊपर नीचे या left right?
Left, right.
Left right. Okay. Okay, I selected this. Selected this. How do I rotate this? There you go. I rotated this. Did I get this?
This means the like from cis to trans.
Cis.
No,
trans
but cis is cis itself right now.
This is cis
Like-
itself. Yeah. So there is
Acha.
no way you're going to get the trans structure from the cis structure.
Acha, that way. Okay.
हाँ,
Understood.
इसलिए they both are different isomers. So now coming to your case, when there are like 3 Cl atoms, is there like a different structure itself you can create from this particular thing? Like by flipping it, let's say by exchanging.
When you
atom.
talk about structure, is it only about like rotating it?
Yeah, so basically change the orientation. Where all do you change this orientation? You can flip it, you can rotate it any angle by 90 degrees, 180 degrees. You can
But
rotate it.
it's not going to change.
It's not going to change, right? So that is why this structure also will not have cis-trans isomers. Okay, so this is also doesn't have any geometrical isomers. This also doesn't have any geometrical isomers. So basically,
Wait,
the criteria you need is for the same carbon atom, you need different atoms to be attached. Like
but what if you swap the H and Cl, the position of H and Cl, and
if I swap the position of H and Cl, it's basically same thing what I get by flipping it 180 degrees, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So basically I just turned the same molecule from one side to the other. So it's the same molecule essentially. Swapping H and Cl gives.
No. The H on the right, the H on that, and the Cl underneath it. What if? Can you do that?
Okay. I can do that, but that would be the same as flipping it again 180 degrees, but upside down, right?
Okay, so it has to be from yeah, completely different one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Good stuff, you guys. Like that's how you think. That's how you get. So the only way you're going to get geometrical isomers is when you've got different atoms attached to the same carbon, a particular carbon atom. So this carbon also should have different atoms attached to it. All right. Here's a case I want you to consider. So let's say I have CH3, Cl, H, and F. Will this have, can you form cis-trans isomers from this compound?
No.
Why not? Like it fulfills our criteria कि अलग atoms attached होना चाहिए.
They're all
But
different.
don't we need same atoms at the top to
Yeah, you
form
cannot
cis?
form.
Yeah, I need same atoms, at least two of them.
The
So,
same atom on both the carbon atoms, not only like one particular atom.
so you're saying
Carbon
like इससे कोई geometrical isomers ही नहीं बनेगा? Let me
I
do.
mean, if we substitute, do something like that, then we might get it.
Okay. Now, are these two compounds isomers or not?
No, they're not.
They're not isomers. Are they the same compound then?
If you flip that compound, you get the same thing.
Will I?
Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, got it. Yeah, that's nice.
No, wait, what? What just happened?
So I just flipped the chlorine and CH3. So I didn't flip both of them. I just flipped only the right side carbon K branches in
Okay.
this particular compound. So I asked, are these two isomers, yes or no?
I mean, it can be isomers because both the atoms present are halogens if you look at it like that.
So they are isomers and they definitely are geometrical isomers. So to get around, like cis-trans mein, we saw that, you know, like usually you needed to have the same atoms attached to both the carbon atoms. But of course, there's going to be compounds like these existing also, where all of the atoms attached to the carbon atoms are different. It's not
Can
always
you go
like
on the last page?
Can you say why was that
Um,
geometric isomer?
Same reason why the cis trans isomers are geometric isomers.
No.
Huh?
As in the other one.
Yeah. The reason is the same. So you can
But
see that
both of them are different.
both of them are different, but their molecular formula is the same. The structure also is the same. Structure is same in the sense that if you write the IUPAC name, the position of Cl, position of F, all of that is going to remain the same. But
This way,
the
the second example that we did, that is also structural isomer.
no, this is not
No,
a
but we have to
structural isomer.
specify-
Oh, sorry, geometrical
Huh,
isomer.
it is a geometrical isomer.
The
So
second example that we did.
this one, the one on the
No,
screen,
on the previous page.
कौन सा?
A second.
1, 2, 3 है center वाला.
Second. Yes. I mean, if we flip the position of Cl and hydrogen just like we did.
But that will be on two different carbon atoms, right?
Hmm.
She flipped it on the same carbon atom.
Yeah, if I flip H and Cl, तो उनका IUPAC name ही अलग हो जाएगा. Cl,
Okay.
H, Cl.
No, but you said an IUPAC name is different. It's an isomer.
हाँ, तभी ये geometrical isomer बनेगा कि structural isomer बनेगा?
It will become a structure.
Structure में change है ना, like position of the functional group is changing इन दोनों के cases में. ये पहले कार्बन पे था दोनों क्लोरीन, ये दूसरे structure में they are on two different carbon atoms. So that's why like structure ही बदल गया. It would come under a structural isomer. But these two this will not form geometrical isomers. Okay. This will definitely form geometrical isomer. One moment, I'll just like finish this up. So cis trans के case में we had like the same atoms attached to both the carbon atoms. When you have different carbon atoms attached to the carbon atoms, the concept is the same. You still have cis and trans, but there's a slight technical change that you have to do. So in this case, वहाँ पे cis trans था, यहाँ पे this is called EZ isomerism. So you have a cis structure, trans structure. Similarly, you call it like there's a E structure and there's a Z structure. So E and Z are alphabets that are assigned from German words. So E is same as your trans isomer and Z is same as your cis isomer. E because there's a German word called and let me quickly refer to this. Entgegen. Anyone learning German here? No? Okay. Anyway, this is not important. It's not like you'll be asked for it, but like just saying in case you're curious ki kahan se aaya hai. And Z is a German word for zusammen. Like if you are interested, you can dig deeper. You can find the meanings of these words and that'll give you an idea why E stands for trans and Z stands for cis. That's it. Okay. Now, how do you assign which is E, which is Z? You give something called priority numbers. Okay. All right. So if you look at this first carbon, it is attached to hydrogen and fluorine. So dono mein which has the bigger atomic number?
Fluorine.
Fluorine. So this is given priority number 1 and this will get priority number 2. Similarly,
So F will be E.
यहाँ पे Cl और CH3 में which will get the higher priority number?
Cl.
Cl. इसका atomic number ज़्यादा है. So this will be 1 and this will be 2. So the isomer where the higher priority is on the same side is the same as your cis isomer. So this will be your Z isomer and यहाँ पे the higher priority of fluorine and chlorine are on opposite sides, so this is going to be the E isomer. Okay. Same as cis trans, just that you, instead of calling it cis to butene or trans to butene, you just substitute it with the letters E or Z. That's all there is to it.
But we don't have it in our textbook, as in there is only like a 6-line paragraph given on stereomerism.
Okay. So I'm just giving it to you in case you need it, like in case you get like test ke liye for your information type. Make a note of it. I know, just talking about cis trans feels incomplete, so I just want to like tell you guys. Anyway, we won't be going really deep into it. Just wanted to give you information so that if you come across EZ, I don't want you guys to be clueless about it. At least so now, actually. Yeah. So like basically conceptually cis trans jaise hi hai, just that instead of cis you can also use Z, instead of trans you can also use the letter E. Like whenever you come across the letter E, it should translate in your head ki wo trans hai, like opposite sides mein hoga. That's it. Yeah. And you will use EZ mainly when you don't have the same groups attached on all the sides of your carbon atoms. That's all. These are the 2 points of difference between cis trans and EZ. Otherwise, conceptually, they're the same thing.
How would you do it if you had 3 molecules? Like, let's say you had a propene or something like that. You had C double bond C and single bond C, and then you had the same thing. How would you say something is cis and something is trans?
So there you will consider only the double bond. So if you had propene, that's basically CH3CH double bond CH2, right? So you're going to isolate the double bond itself. If I consider the double bond wala carbons, this is attached to 2 hydrogens. So dono single bonds hydrogen mein. Now this carbon is attached to 1 hydrogen and 1 methyl group. So CH3 and H. Yeah. So like this is same as propene. You've got CH3CC, 3 carbons with 1 double bond. But yeah, like if you had to figure out cis trans, you need to know, like you will be given the molecule in this form because you need to know how it is aligned. Upar ki taraf kya hai, niche ki taraf kya hai. You will not be given a compound like this and asked to figure out whether it is cis or trans. In fact, this particular compound I have put is basically a propene.
Yeah,
only.
I
Substituted propene. Yeah.
I just realized.
So, ma'am, we learned about, so under geometric isomerism, we have trans geometric isomerism, cis geometric isomerism, and what is this called?
No.
E.
Trans and cis are the 2 different forms of geometrical isomerism only. Like
Okay.
हर एक cis के लिए उसका trans counterpart होगा. So like same molecule है ना, same side है तो cis, different sides है तो trans, that way. So you can call it the cis trans notation or the EZ notation. These are like different notations of geometrical isomerism. Notion nahi, notation. Yeah. Okay. Right. And then finally, we've got enantiomerism or optical isomerism. Okay. So this we had discussed a bit last class. Do you want me to discuss it again? Like, we're able to figure out optical isomerism kaise, what do you mean by optical isomerism? Kaise? The DL rotation wala part, do you remember?
No, ma'am, can you give a brief?
ठीक है, no problem. This also, I don't think you have it in detail in your textbook. You'll come across it in 12th grade because one of the reaction products gives you both isomers. So, uski wajah se. But yeah, so optical isomer is basically, it's called optical isomer. Na? So basically it's something related to light. So this happens in molecules where a particular carbon atom is attached to four different what do you call, like four different substituents. Here, so you have one substituent, you have the second substituent, you have a third substituent, and you have fourth substituent. Now when all four of these are different, now this is a 3D structure, right? So it depends on how these four different groups are oriented with respect to this central carbon. On which side of the tetrahedron are they there? Okay, so why that is important is that, like, depending on how the structure is, they have a tendency to rotate light in a specific way. Okay. So if they rotate light towards their, I'll have to check whether it's left or right. So the two forms are called dextro and levo. So ek hai, if they turn light towards the left, it's called the D isomer, and if they turn it towards left, it's called the L isomer. So they are attached as prefixes over this thing. But yeah, so optical isomerism is again structure bhi same hai, molecular formula bhi same hai, but their geometrical orientation in the 3D space is different. So if I just take iska mirror image, so ऊपर की तरफ there is the red, green is on this side, towards you there is maroon, and on पीछे की तरफ black है. Now both of these at a glance they seem the same, but they kind of are not. So if I just turn them around, if I turn this 180 degrees, this is not the same as this one. So initially जो पीछे की तरफ था वो, that is going to come towards you, and then जो आगे की तरफ है, on rotation it goes away from you that way. Yeah. So I just check if there's like 3D modeling of this done. I tried searching for it, could not find it. But once I find, like, I'll have to check if there are videos. I will share it with you guys once I find it. Okay. But yeah, so main thing about optical isomers is that, so depending on the orientation of the different functional groups, they have a tendency of rotating light towards left or the right. And rotating light towards left, that is one isomer, like the dextro rotation, we call it dextro rotation, the D isomer. And rotating towards the right is called levo rotation, that's the L isomer. And you can't figure this out directly by looking at a molecule. So this you would usually people find out by experimentally only. That's like, yeah, that's a whole concept in itself. Yeah. Yeah, but for now, just know that something like this exists, and the logic behind it is the rotation of light. So that's why it's optical rotation. And geometrical rotation, isomerism, is because the geometry is different. This happens in alkenes majorly. Okay. All right. We'll do some questions based on isomerism abhi ke liye, so that it gets easier for you guys. And yeah, after like 10-15 minutes, we'll do a bunch of questions, and then I'll start with the next part of the chapter. The next part of chapter is going to be pretty heavy. We're going to get into like resonance effects, like different effects, reaction mechanisms, and like those particular concepts. Okay. All right. So for each of these compounds, you need to figure out what type of isomers are they? Are they the same compound or are they specific type of isomers? Okay. So first one. Who's gonna start off? Ansh. Yes, Ansh Gupta, are you there? What type of isomers are these two compounds? Nepali has already answered. Yes, Ansh.
I don't know the answer. Hello?
Yeah,
Ma'am, I don't know the answer.
don't know. Figure it out, no? So, pehle, are they like, will they have the same molecular formula? So, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atoms here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atoms here. And दोनों में same functional group ही है, तो of course they're the same thing. Same molecular formula होगा. Structural formula different है क्या दोनों के case में?
Yes.
I'll just clear this thing. हाँ. So double bond कौन से position में है?
Second और third के बीच.
Second और third के बीच. So if you had to give it a position number, like अगर इसको name करना है, तो position number will be
2.
2. और इसके case में भी
2.
2. Okay. Now the next thing, see, you can classify it either as they may be the same compound. They are not structural isomers क्योंकि structure तो same ही है. Resonance structures भी नहीं है. Could they be stereoisomers?
Yes.
Yes. Now, can you identify which is cis and which is trans?
And how can they be stereoisomers?
Why not?
I'll expand it just a second.
Huh. See, double bond है, and of course कोई और functional group नहीं है. Like you've got this also attached to carbon, and the other side will obviously be hydrogen. इस तरफ भी you've got carbon, and then the other side will be attached to hydrogen. In this case also the same thing. You've got carbon and the fourth valency satisfied by hydrogen. You've got the carbon and then the fourth valency satisfied by hydrogen. So based on this, can you figure out which is the cis isomer, which is the trans isomer? ये पहला वाला, is this going to be cis or trans? Rest of you, if you figured it out, you can send it on the chat. Sid has sent it. Nice. So you figured it out. So Ansh, इसमें both the carbon atoms, are they on the same side or on the different, like on
Same
opposite
side.
Same side. So अगर same side है तो वो cis होगा कि trans होगा?
Trans.
नहीं, cis होगा. Okay. So one way of figuring it out is, so trans, where all have you heard of trans? So transversal में सुने थे. You guys know of transverse waves also, right? So what do you mean by transverse waves? Do you remember?
Light wave.
Light waves, yes, that's an example. But like conceptually, what do you mean by transverse waves?
It travels perpendicular to the direction of the wave.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. So अगर wave ऐसे जा रहा है तो particles are going ऐसे, different direction. What do you mean by transversal? We had parallel lines and there's a transversal.
the line cutting them off.
Normal.
Cutting them, right? Like I say, it's going across both the lines. Idhar bhi, it is going across. So if it's on opposite sense, like if it is across from each other, then that's a trans isomer, like this. So basically double bond है, एक नीचे की तरफ है, एक ऊपर की तरफ है, मतलब this is a trans isomer. But if it is on the same side, then the same as cis isomer.
Oh, you're only supposed to classify them on the basis of four. Sorry.
So like that's what is given in this sheet, but I thought I'll just make you guys practice this also, so that you could be able to identify it. Okay. So same side is cis, opposite sides matlab trans. In fact, have you heard of trans fats, you know, being unhealthy and all of that? Any health conscious people here? Yeah, you must have heard of that, right? Even if you're not health conscious, like I say, ads mein sare aate hain na. So that
Yeah.
whole concept of trans fats also comes from the trans isomer only. So fats or fatty acids mein, obviously there's going to be double bonds involved, long chain fatty acids hai. So
The unsaturated concept of whole.
yeah, unsaturated may, if it's a trans fat, that's bad, it's unhealthy, but cis fats are okay. That's where this whole concept comes from. I mean, this is where that comes from. Yeah. Alright.
Aren't these two the same compound like the first one?
They are the same compound. They form stereoisomers. क्योंकि उनका ओरिएंटेशन अलग है, एक सेम साइड है और दूसरा डिफरेंट साइड्स में.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now coming to the second one, what kind of isomers do these form?
It's the same thing.
Structural.
Is it?
Structural isomer.
I mean,
Structural position isomers.
Yeah.
structural. No,
Anyone who agrees, disagrees?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Now, like, how would you classify the second one? So a couple of them, like I think Mayas and Tarunam have said structural isomer. Tarunam has added key structural positional isomers. Okay. So I was asking, anyone agrees, disagrees?
positional man.
Positional. Mitali also says positional. Ansh, Sid, Ishita. What about you guys?
Yeah, same. Yes. Correct.
Figured? कैसे क्या? Cool. Okay. इसमें this particular one, if I were to look at it from a geometrical isomer point of view, is this cis or trans?
Trans.
So double bond है, one carbon is नीचे की तरफ, दूसरा carbon is ऊपर की तरफ. That's why it is trans. Cool. Okay, this one. Will they be isomers? Are they the same compound?
Structural and chain isomerism to be specific.
Very nice. Yes. So structural isomers hai, the structures are different. This may be if you had to classify their chain isomers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon long chain. Isme you have 4 carbon long chain. Awesome. Then fourth one. Ishita, you answer this one.
Ma'am, this is practically the opposite.
So what is your answer? Like, are they the same compound, or would you say they're structural, or would you say they are stereoisomers? Sid and Taranum, yes. Okay, Ishita, where?
Wait, they're not exactly the same structures. They are not the same structures.
So किस तरह के isomers? Where would you put them? Structural or stereo?
Wait. Structural.
Structural, okay. So structural में what type of isomers are there? Position, chain?
Position.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you give me the IUPAC name for both?
Wait 1 second. Two. Wait 1 second. What am I saying? No, wait, not two. What am I saying?
Why not? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yeah,
carbons
this
there.
is kind of confused.
Hmm. So,
The double bond is second.
हाँ, तो
Like the
position
double
number
bond
will
is
be 2.
between the
Second
Two.
carbon पे है ना? Yeah. So 2.
Yeah.
पूरा नाम क्या है?
Pent. Pentan.
Double.
No, pentane. Pentene.
Yes.
Pentene.
Hmm.
2 pentene. Yes.
ठीक है.
And there was 3 pentene.
Are you sure?
Sorry, not 3. Sorry, 4.
क्यों?
No, not 4. There's 3.
See, one way of numbering is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, right.
अगर यहाँ से चालू
I'm very confused.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is 2 and it's the same.
The same. So basically the difference
हाँ.
between both of them, इसको ऐसे molecule को उल्टा कर लिया बस. They just flipped it on this side और ये okay.
Ma'am, any kind of flipping is like not an isomer, right?
No.
Okay.
Because same molecule, na? Like molecules don't exist on paper the way you're looking at it here. So you need to imagine you're holding the molecule in your hand. Like imagine it's in 3D space. So it's like basically if I look at it from this side, ऐसे दिखेगा. If you're looking at it from the opposite side, ऐसे दिखने वाला है. Like double bond is on my left, it's going to be on your right. So they exist in 3D space. So essentially they're the same molecule. But because to represent them we only have papers, तो इसलिए उस तरह के confusions आते हैं. And that is the whole reason you have IUPAC name. So once you follow the IUPAC rules, अच्छा same ही name आया. So basically they're the same compounds.
So no isomerism.
Mm-hmm. They are the same compound. Okay, so we want to do one more.
Yeah.
Let me check. Okay, look at number 13. What type of isomerism would that be?
It should be positional
Position.
because the methyl group in the first case it's
Para position and meta position.
it's 1,3 and here it's 1,2.
Yeah. So Mithali is more correct. Taranum, you had the right idea, but iske case mein you're not gonna say para and meta. So para and meta is usually defined for benzene ke relative this thing. This is ortho, this is meta, this is para. But this is like a 5-sided compound, right? So a pentagon, like a 5-sided thing, isliye. But yeah, you had the right idea. So relative to OH, this is in 1 to 3 position, 1,3 position hai. Relative to OH, in this case, you've got a 1,2 position. Okay, awesome. Positional isomers. Cool. Number 14.
It's the same compound.
Is it?
Just yes, ma'am. So if you rotate it.
Yeah, rotate and flip it. So another way of figuring out whether they're same, whether they're isomers is you need to just check the relative position. So double bond hai, double bond ke baaju mein hi you have the OH, double bond ke baaju mein hi you have the OH, and then OH ke do carbon ke baad you've got this methyl group, and OH ke do compound like do carbon ke baad you've got the methyl group. Or both of them are there on opposite sides of the double bond. So that's another way to look at it. Okay. So obviously their IUPAC name is going to be the same. Cool. Cool. So what I'm saying is you guys need practice in nomenclature and like recognizing isomerism. So we are going to work on that. Okay. All right. Now getting into organic reaction ke mechanism. Before we get into it, how much of organic chemistry did you guys study? Like CBSE to pata hai, like what is there in the syllabus and all. Those who have come from IG or ICSE, like I just want to know what your basics are like. Did you study any particular reactions? What all reactions did you study previously?
So I am from, sorry for that. I am from IG and I think I did the reactions, not the electron covalent thing mechanism. That is very new to me.
Okay.
But like all reactions like substitution, addition, elimination, rearrangement, all those reactions are fine.
Okay.
But like when it comes to this,
so you know what the reactions are, like you know a couple of examples maybe, but you don't know the mechanism. That part you have not done previously.
yeah, and mechanism is new. Like it wasn't introduced to us last year in any sort of way.
All right. Anybody else would like to add anything to this?
We also didn't have like ketones and all that. We only had like esters, alcohols,
Okay,
and
esterification,
carboxylic acids. And all that.
hydrogenation, like just the basic key. This is
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this is this. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that makes it easier. All of you, like CBSE, maybe that's what was there. Like you had basics of nomenclature and just a brief overview of the reaction, halogenation, dehydration of alcohol. Yeah. All right. So whenever it comes to organic reactions, they're very different from inorganic because organic chemistry, like organic reactions, take place in
Good
multiple
question.
steps a lot of times. Right?
I had a question, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sorry. Will we be having polyesters and all that, like natural polyesters and?
No, polymers was not there in CBSE.
Like, will we have it right now?
No, you won't have that. So polymers as a chapter is there next. Like this is all going to be right now. It's just basics of organic chemistry, just laying the groundwork of what all you'll come across in the subsequent chapter. And then you're going to learn about each class of compounds at a time. Like abhi is saal you would have all about hydrocarbons. So mainly you'll be studying about alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, and benzene. Next year you have a whole chapter on alcohols and ethers, a whole chapter on aldehydes and ketones, a whole chapter on carboxylic acids, esters, a whole chapter on amines, that way. So each class of compounds is going to take a whole chapter. And then finally, you'll have stuff about polymers and biomolecules. That's how it is structured. And every single chapter, you will find it the exact same structure. So you'll have an introduction, ki kya hai wo compound, what is the nomenclature usually like, followed by their physical property and followed by the chemical property. So physical property matlab color, taste, smell, what does it look like? Is it oily or is it like waterish, like viscosity, stuff like that, smell. And then chemical properties like, अच्छा अगर पानी में डाला तो क्या होगा, उसके साथ halogen उसमें डाल दिया तो क्या होगा, if you make it react with HCl then what happens, if you heat it in a copper tube then what happens. So basically all the reactions. Okay, so that's
Also, will they have like the fractional distillation part of it?
there is fractional distillation when we're talking about petroleum, so basically hydrocarbons, but it's not like a large part of it. So it'll be described because, yeah, there is fractional distillation, but it's not like a whole concept in itself. The focus is more on the physical and chemical properties.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Cracking is one of the properties. So like there is a short note on it that way. Yeah. Okay. So again, all of this chapter is going to have the like focus on the chemical properties part of it. Some of the important reactions, like industrially important or chemically important because they produce like very useful compounds. You get to learn the reaction mechanism also. Okay. So in order to make it easier for you to understand the reaction mechanism, there are some points to note. Why is this particular Cl minus attacking this particular carbon and not, you know, some random carbon at the end of the chain? Why is it that alcoholic medium में ऐसे proceed हो रहा है लेकिन acidic medium में different mechanism is taking place? So in order to put context on all of that, there are some basic concepts that you have to learn, like, okay, what happens in an organic compound which leads to all of those kinds of weird properties. So that's what we are going to study in this whole chapter. Okay, so reactions in organic mein kya ho raha hai? Like you have, they're mainly ionic, right? Like in organic chemistry is metals, non-metals. And mainly cations, anions के बीच में reaction, you'll have like displacement and they're ionic in nature. बहुत ही straightforward है. Cations, anions get attracted to each other. But organic में usually you have a series of steps. The most simplest type of reaction, so you have an organic molecule which is usually called the substrate. So substrate is the molecule that you're keeping track of. Okay, if I were to take an example, okay, what reaction are you guys familiar with? It could be anything. It could be something from bio that you remember also. So let's
kind of
sorry, yeah,
what kind of reaction?
any reaction involving organic compounds.
Can we do like a bromine addition to alkene?
ठीक है, bromine addition to alkene. So let's take simplest alkene. You've got CH2, and let's say you're adding bromine, Br2, and you get the product, Br, and the remaining is by H. Yeah, whatever. So usually in this case, you've got one organic molecule and one inorganic molecule. There may be cases where you've got one organic molecule reacting with another organic molecule like an alcohol or something also. But the main molecule that you want to keep track of, the substance that you're keeping track of कि अच्छा ethene को क्या होने वाला है when I do something to it. So that main molecule is called a substrate. Okay. So in this case, ethene is your substrate. Another example, this is like a very specific chemical reaction. If I were to take a generic one, let's say breakdown of carbohydrates. So food, when you're digesting food, this happens, right? Like you eat starch or some complex sugar. Process, kuch to, like it undergoes some process, there are enzymes involved and it breaks down into glucose finally, right? This is a chemical change, chemical property. So now we are keen on what is happening to this starch or this particular sugar molecule. C12H22O11 ko kya ho raha hai? So in that case, this is the substrate because this is the one that's eventually undergoing change. Change that we care about. There will be other changes also, but they are byproducts. Like we don't really care about that. This is the main change we care about. All right. Then substrate plus reagent. So the attacking reagent. So the molecule that like whose help we are taking to bring about this change, in this case bromine, in this case enzymes, even though enzymes are organic molecules, we are not calling them substrates because they are just used for bringing about this change. So those kind of molecules are called reagents. Okay, so substrate plus reagent, it's going to change into an intermediate molecule. This is an unstable molecule, which is going to eventually change into a product. Okay, now this is how the most simplest reaction will take place. There may be multiple intermediates forming, so we are going to come across all of these different reactions. So then you'll start getting the hang of it. But yeah, so it's not a one-step reaction. So initially there's a substrate. Once we put a reagent, only then the change is going to take place, the reaction is going to take place. So beach mein, it's going to start form an intermediate molecule, and then it's going to lead to stable products, which marks the end of the reaction. Okay. All right. You guys, you said that you have heard of substitution reactions, right? Like you have studied what are substitution reactions, right? Can you give me an example of which substitution reaction you have studied about?
So substitution reaction, maybe you can take like you can take ethane and then you can add chlorine to it. So then
yeah.
the two chlorine molecules will be substituted by like both the hydrogens. Like that's end product. Okay, I'm giving you like a quick
So this
thing
is one
because
reaction that you have studied about, right? This.
yeah,
Okay. Have you have you come across this reaction like substitution of alcohols? If I take a hydrogen halide and make it react with an alcohol, let's say KOH, then this gives CH3OH plus plus
Yes, ma'am.
KCl. Cl minus है वो KCl हो जाएगा. Yeah. Have you come across this sort of a reaction pehle?
Yeah.
Okay, Ishita hasn't. Okay. So this is like a simplest one that I can explain it to you guys. So in this case, Cl is getting substituted with the OH group, right? So isme what is the substrate?
CH3Cl.
Very good. This is the substrate. This is the organic molecule that we want to keep track of. And the reagent,
KOH.
KOH. This is the reagent. So this doesn't happen in one step. This forms, so before forming the final product, it forms basically an intermediate. So this is what it looks like. So what happens is KOH obviously is going to dissociate as K plus and OH minus. The OH minus is the one that actually takes part in the reaction. In order to get OH minus, you're going to take KOH or like NaOH, whichever it may be. Okay. So now you've got CH3Cl. The OH minus comes and attacks this from the back. So the intermediate that is formed looks something like this. So you've got CH3. Slowly this bond starts getting looser and this bond starts forming. Okay. So this is the intermediate. And clearly this is an unstable product, unstable species. Can you guess why this is unstable?
Because
Carbon has
more than 4 valencies are being.
Exactly. So carbon has like a lot going on. It's attached to 5 different things. So this is like extremely highly unstable intermediate. So in order to stabilize, this proceeds as eventually this is going to get cut off, like Cl is gonna go its own way, and this bond is going to form completely fully. So you get OHCH3 plus Cl minus. Okay. So this is like kind of a simple example that I wanted to show you guys. So substrate plus reagent goes through an intermediate. In this case, it was like a single step. Ek intermediate simply form ho gaya, giving you your final product, which happens to be an alcohol here, and your byproducts. There are, of course, other slightly more complex reactions that take place in multiple steps. So carbocation form hoga, फिर उसका rearrangement होगा, फिर like दूसरा reagent like H plus will attack, and like this multi-step reactions also possible. Okay. So that's what it means. So substrate attacking reagent forms an intermediate, which like changes into, which basically forms your product, and in the process there may be byproducts. In some cases like addition reactions में byproducts नहीं होते that way. Okay. So this kind of sequential account of each step, like exactly electrons कहाँ पे transfer हो रहे हैं, bonds कहाँ break हो रहे हैं, bonds कहाँ form हो रहे हैं. Yeah, describing the details of electron movements, the energetics during bond cleavage and bond formation, and rates of transformation of reactants into products is referred to as reaction mechanism. Okay. Like if you have to put it in simple words, it's basically the step-by-step account, like step-by-step description. उस description में क्या होता है? You're showing how the electrons are moving. You're showing how the bond is getting cleavage का मतलब how the bond is breaking, how the bond is forming, and the rates of transformation, मतलब कितने speed से हो रहा है, like the fast step, slow step. So basically you're just writing down all of the details of that particular reaction. So that's the reaction mechanism. Okay. So what affects these reaction mechanism? So one, obviously reaction हो रहा है मतलब fission of a covalent bond. Like obviously जो covalent bond है organic molecules में, that needs to break. So fission is like breaking apart of things. So there are 2 ways that a bond can break. One is heterolytic cleavage or homolytic cleavage. Again, we get these words homo, hetero. Can you take a random guess what homolytic stands for, what heterolytic stands for? Like we had homogeneous, heterogeneous. We had come across this homo hetero lots of times, right? So
Heterolytic is basically, I mean, the word hetero is like two different.
yes, different, or
things.
another way you can interpret it is unequal.
Yeah.
Not
Homolytic.
homo is basically uniform, same.
Yeah.
So cleavage matlab, how do you put it in this context? Homolytic, heterolytic.
Unequal.
What exactly is cleavage?
Cleavage matlab, cleaving ka matlab breaking. Have you heard of this meat cleaver? It's a type of knife. So cleave ka matlab, it's a breaking. So cleavage is the breakage, breaking. Yeah. Cleavage, fission, breaking, all of them same things. Okay. All right.
Okay, so the bond breaks unequally in the first part, and the second homolytic, the bond breaks equally.
Yes. Bond breaking equally matlab, if I have a covalent bond here also there is a covalent bond. So breaking unequally, breaking equally matlab, if you had to explain it a little more clearly.
Unequal means एक side पे जाएगा, equally means both side पे.
क्या जा रहा है एक side?
Electron.
Absolutely.
The double bond breaks the
Yes.
bond. Yeah.
So each bond is basically sharing of a pair of electrons, right? So unequal matlab, both electrons in the pair goes to one atom. So basically heterocleavage matlab, you will always get a positive ion and a negative ion depending on how the electrons are transferring. Homolytic matlab uniformly. So basically each electron, like the pair of electrons, is being shared by both equally. So हमेशा homolytic cleavage के बाद you get free radicals. So each one will take single electron. Okay. So heterolytic matlab you will get two oppositely charged ions because एक atom ज़्यादा electrons ले रहा है. And homolytic cleavage matlab both of them are split equally between both, so you get something called free radicals. So just जो species में unpaired electrons है, you call that a free radical. Okay. So, and which particular atom takes the electron completely depends on which two atoms are bonded to each other. Okay. Like if you have, for example, C and Cl, Cl.
On electronegativity.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Is it dependent on electronegativity?
Yes. So electronegativity plays a big part. Like for example, in the case of CCl, Cl being more electronegative will take both the electrons. But if you have like between C and C itself, other factors it depends on are what other atoms are both of these carbons attached to. So that also plays a role in deciding which side the electron should go. Because eventually you're going to get a C plus and a C minus, right? Now, if this C plus is stabilized by another alkyl group or any other stabilizing group, it will favor forming C plus. But if it's going to be unstable, then it will not favor forming the C plus that way. Okay. So we are going to get deeper into what makes it stable, what makes it unstable, and all of that. That's what we're going to go ahead with. But basic heterolytic matlab unequal sharing of electrons, bond breaks such that the shared pair remains with one of the fragments. CH3Br में Br being more electronegative takes the electrons. And homolytic matlab they are shared equally with each other. Okay. So अभी हमने देखा है heterolytic में like for example in this particular case, carbon is losing electrons, matlab carbon is getting a positive charge. Okay, And there may be another case where carbon may getting a negative charge also. CH3 minus भी बन सकता है if it so happens that it took both the electrons. All right. So these species are called, like when carbon forms positive charge, when carbon loses the electron, it is called a carbocation. कार्बन का कैटायन बन रहा है, so it's called carbocation. एक ही word है. All right. But when carbon forms negative charge, like CH3 minus or CH2 CH3 minus or OH CH2 minus, जो भी है, such a species is called carbanion. Basically ship name है carbon anion का, carbanion. Okay. So carbocation when you have a positive charge, carbanion when you have a negative charge. Okay. And
so during heterolytic fission, there's a possibility that we get both. One is a carbocation and one is a carboanion. But during a homolytic fission, the only thing that we can get is free radical.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Possibility of getting either of these. Both maybe, but the more usual cases you would come across is either a carbocation or a carbanion. Okay. All right. Now, order of carbocation stability. Okay. Have you guys heard of what primary, secondary, and tertiary mean? Are you all familiar? If I say primary alcohol, okay. If anybody is not, ask me right now, I'll go over it. Otherwise, I'll directly jump into this. All right. So primary carbocation is less stable than secondary carbocation, less stable than tertiary carbocation. Okay, this is the order of stability. Now the reason why we are going to, like, the answer for that lies in the inductive effect, what this carbocation is attached to. So we'll get into it in the next like 10-15 minutes or so. Okay. All right. So primary carbocation is least stable. Tertiary carbocation is most stable. Okay. And this matters because when you're trying to figure out a reaction mechanism or when you're trying to predict products, there may be more than one way that the reaction can proceed. So if there is a tertiary carbon present, like if you have C, 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 and then Cl. Now, अगर ये carbocation form करता है, तो it is stabilized by the 3 CH3 groups that is attached by. Tertiary carbocation is more stable. So this will favor a heterolytic fission. Okay, as opposed to a CH3Cl, which is a primary carbon.
But what do you mean by like a primary carbon in the sense only one carbon, right? In the whole.
Yeah. So when there is a carbon is not attached to
Any other.
Yeah, so it is attached to all hydrogens or it is attached to only one carbon atom. So that's a primary carbon. If it is attached to 2 carbon atoms, C, C, C. Like if you there is something else here. This is a secondary carbon. And if it is attached to 3 carbon atoms, that's a tertiary carbon. Either 1 or 0 is a primary carbon. Attached to 2 carbon atoms is a secondary carbon, and attached to 3 carbon atoms is a tertiary carbon.
3 of them will show heterolytic cleavage?
No. Only the carbon which is a tertiary carbon will show heterolytic cleavage.
Just
So
the
the
tertiary,
center-
and the secondary and the primary will show homolytic.
Not necessarily. Like it depends on the reaction. This is just the stability order. The primary is the least stable, secondary is next, and tertiary is the most stable. Like again, if I have to go back to the example, ये अभी I had discussed with you guys about this particular example, right? Now, if I do the same reaction with a tertiary carbon, like instead of CH3Cl, if I take CH3 taken thrice CCl, and if I react it with the same thing under the same conditions and everything, this is not going to follow this mechanism. So this follows a different mechanism where it forms a tertiary carbocation, and like then OH minus will substitute and attach itself to the positive carbocation.
And we have to show that it forms a carbocation, right? Like we have to show that
When you're
during
asked
this reaction.
for, yeah, so when you're asked for the reaction mechanism, then you have to say that. And also like these two mechanisms have like different names. So you'll be asked, okay, what mechanism that is follow, SN1 or SN2. But anyway, so all of this you will have when you're studying about haloalkanes. So abhi nahi hai. This is just an example I'm giving you. Ki why are we learning about carbocations? Why is it important? Okay. Okay, so same reaction, products भी same है, alcohol ही form कर रहा है, but the mechanism it follows is different only because this is a primary carbon and this is a tertiary carbon. So that is why stability order of carbocations or carbanions, all of that is important. Okay, so for now, learn like what you need to learn and internalize is primary carbocation is more stable compared to secondary compared to tertiary. Okay. Then homolytic में one of the electrons goes with each of the bonded atoms, so it's shared equally. So it forms something called radicals. Yeah.
You said primary carbocation is more stable.
Sorry, primary is least stable, followed by secondary, followed by tertiary. My bad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That it moved.
So free radicals are formed क्योंकि R है कार्बन का ये है तो alkyl free radicals. And the order of stability is also the same as carbocation ka stability, where methyl is the most least stable, followed by primary free radical, alkyl free radical, followed by secondary, followed by tertiary. So free radicals may be tertiary is the most stable and primary is the least stable. Okay, so methyl.
So tertiary in the sense radicals, like what do you mean by that?
So again, the free radical carbon, like the carbon which has undergone the cleavage, if it is attached to 3 more carbon atoms, that's a tertiary radical.
Yeah.
Similarly,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so if this carbon which is a part of, you know, the bond breaking, that particular carbon, if it is attached to 2 more carbon atoms, that's secondary, that way. Okay, so same as carbocations, tertiary is the most stable, followed by secondary, followed by primary. Okay. Yeah. Organic reactions which proceed by homolytic fission are called free radical reactions or homopolar reactions or non-polar reactions. Okay, so those are words which make sense because you're not forming any, there's no polarity going on there. Electrons are equally divided. Free radicals are formed, इसलिए you call them free radical reaction. And because you're not forming any ions or there's no charge separation, they're non-polar or homopolar reactions. Make sense? All right. So in general, substrate and reagent हमने already discuss कर लिया. Reaction में the main compound that we are tracking is the substrate, and the compound we are using to bring about this change is the reagent. Okay. Reagent में you will find 2 types of reagents. So two types of reagents, either nucleophiles or they may be electrophiles. Okay. This is also very easy to figure out. Just break the word apart. Nucleophiles. Where do you come across this word PHILE file? What does it mean? So last year, do you guys remember the something called hydrophilic, hydrophobic? So usme
Water related.
Yeah, hydrophilic is water related. So wahan pe what does hydrophilic mean?
It absorbs moisture.
Water loving.
Water loving, like इसलिए absorb कर रहा है या फिर dissolve हो रहा है. It likes water. So similarly, nucleophile का मतलब
Nucleus loving.
nucleus loving. So अगर if it needs to get attracted to nucleus, what charge should itself have?
Negative.
It will get attracted to carbocation.
Correct. So nucleus में protons होते हैं, positive charge होते हैं. If it needs to get attracted to positive, मतलब itself should have negative. So wherever you have electron rich substances, they are classified as nucleophiles. So for example, OH minus. So negative charge hai, electron rich hai. This will only get attracted to positively charged things. So OH minus is a nucleophile. Any other examples that you guys can give? Substituents में देख के.
SO4 2 minus.
SO4 2 minus, thio,
I mean, we can just name all the anions. What else?
Cl
We
minus.
can use halogens.
Halogen, Cl minus, F minus, like all of them together, you can call it X minus. Halides. Even the compounds containing lone pair of electrons. What do you guys say about ammonia?
Remember, if ammonia forms like a cation. Sorry.
Does it?
NH4 plus.
That is after it gets attracted to H plus, na? So after it gets attracted to the nucleus. But ammonia by itself has this lone pair of electrons. It is electron rich. It will get attracted to positively charged things. Yeah. So these are all nucleophiles. On the flip side, what are electrophiles?
Electron deficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're electron deficient, they themselves have got a positive charge. They get attracted to electron rich areas. They get attracted to electrons. So those species are called electrophiles. Example of an electrophile? Abhi, whichever you've come across.
Metal ions.
Metal ions, yes. Carbocations, what are they? Are they nucleophiles or electrophiles?
Electrophiles.
Electrophiles, yes.
But they form or like they combine with a nucleophile.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so the definitions are given here. So a reagent that brings an electron pair to the reactive site is called a nucleophile. So it is rich in electrons. It is seeking a nucleus. And a reagent that takes away an electron pair. So it itself is electron deficient. So it gets attracted to electrons, takes it away. So it is electron seeking. Okay. And whenever it's a nucleophile attacking the substrate, it's called a nucleophilic reaction. So you will come across these terms when we look at specific reactions. So you'll come across nucleophilic addition or nucleophilic substitution. So when A nucleophile is substituting a functional group. That's called a nucleophilic substitution, that way. And all the reactions involving electrophiles are called electrophilic reaction. So you'll come across again electrophilic addition, electrophilic substitution, that way. Okay. During polar organic reaction, a nucleophile attacks an electrophilic center of the substrate, which is that specific atom which is electron deficient.
I'm sorry, member, could you repeat what a polar organic react?
See, when we talked about homolytic fission, they are called non-polar reactions, right? When a heterophilic fission happens, so basically you are creating oppositely charged centers. You know, you have a positively charged center, negatively charged center. So that's why those are classified under polar organic reactions, because there is a
any cleavage is a polar organic reaction.
Yeah. Yes, can say that. Okay. So during a polar organic reaction, a nucleophile attacks the electrophilic center. Similarly, electrophiles attack the nucleophilic center. Okay, so electrophiles attack electron rich, nucleophiles attack the electron deficient. Curved arrow notation is used to show the movement of an electron pair. So this is nothing but like if you have, let's say, C double bond C something 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 something, let's say H H H H. So when you're showcasing the mechanism of a reaction, you want to show like reaction mechanism का मतलब okay electrons कहाँ से कहाँ जा रहे हैं, and why is this particular reagent, let's say Nu minus, attacking only one particular carbon, basically describing all that, right? So you will come across these symbols. So you'll come across something like this. This shows the curved arrow notation shows that iske दो electrons are getting transferred to this carbon. So if these electrons are moving towards this carbon, nucleophile will attack which one? I'll name these carbon atoms 1 and 2. So nucleophile will attack carbon atom 1 or carbon atom 2?
1.
First carbon atom.
Yeah, because iske paas nahi hai. It's taking 2 of the electrons, the other one is taking. So this will go and attack here. So when you're looking at organic reactions, wherever you see an arrow mark, that's basically shows the movement of electrons. So nucleophile is rich in electrons. So you see that acha nucleophile ke 2 electrons are getting attracted to this. So you can predict the next step ki acha HH, this will start forming a bond with the nucleophile. These two are moving towards this carbon. So you can see that, okay, this bond has broken and iske paas ek negative charge aa jayega. That way you can start reading the organic reaction, start understanding them. Okay, so curved arrow notation is used to show the movement of electron pair. Examples of nucleophiles, yeah, we already discussed some of them. OH minus, anion. Cyanide, Cn minus is another nucleophile. Neutral molecules that have lone pair of electrons. So water is one. Ammonia I've already discussed, but amines also come under nucleophiles because nitrogen ke wo lone pair of electrons hai. Okay. And examples of electrophiles, carbocations that we've already discussed, and neutral molecules having a carbonyl group like C double bond O, and alkyl halides. Asha, why are we putting alkyl halides under electrophile? Can you guess why?
They are positively charged.
Alkyl halide तो neutral है ना? इसमें कोई charge नहीं है. So why are they?
Because there is a high dipole moment.
It's still a polar. Um,
हाँ.
it'll form poles, right? Like
Yeah.
negative on the.
Yeah. So halides being extremely electronegative, they start attracting the electron pair towards itself. So there'll be kind of like a positive charge formed on this particular carbon that is attached to the halogen. Yeah. So that particular thing is also called inductive effect, which we are soon going to talk about, possibly in the next class. But yeah, so that is the reason it is very case specific, and you need to like look at what a molecule is like. Similarly, any compounds having carbonyl functional group are electrophiles because oxygen, the second most electronegative element, is going to attract electrons towards itself, forms a positive center on the carbon atom. Yeah. Now, it's given right here. So in neutral molecules, due to the polarity of CX bond, a partial positive charge is generated on the carbon atom, and that is why that particular carbon atom becomes an electrophile. So it is displayed in this particular reaction here. So benzene, when you treat it with an alkyl halide, this basically undergoes, this is an electrophilic substitution reaction because the electrophile CH3 plus is the one that gets substituted in place of hydrogen in benzene. Yeah. So that. All right. Next, we're going to talk about electron movement. It's already 5 o'clock, so this will take one more session and this will be all right, which I think is okay. I think you guys do need some practice in organic when it comes to nomenclature and isomerism and all that. Okay.
Ma'am, when at the earliest can we have the session?
Let me see. We'll have to see the schedule. Great.
Ma'am, because
Uh,
English and psych exam next week, so like.
Oh, what date do you have this exam?
So English exam is on Wednesday, psych exam is on Friday.
Oh,
And tomorrow and day after tomorrow we have physics consecutively.
day after tomorrow. Acha, Saturday ko. Acha, Thursday and Friday you've got physics, no? Okay. Then are you guys free on either Saturday or Monday?
On Saturday.
नहीं होगा.
Ma'am, Saturday maybe take it in the morning or something like that. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Because we don't
Because-
have school from Thursday on.
Yeah, like
Oh.
from
पूरा holiday छुट्टी ही मिल रहा है.
prep leave, yeah.
Oh, nice. Is everyone okay with Saturday morning?
Yes, ma'am.
So Mitali, Mayas is okay. Taranum also said okay. Ansh, Dhriti is also said okay. Ansh is disconnected. Ishita also seems to be disconnected. Okay. I'll put it up on the group anyways. Okay. So we'll complete this chapter on Saturday then. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Any doubts you guys so far?